Hi, folks. Welcome. Thanks for joining us again. My name's Gar Whaley with Teal. I'm the CRO and one of the co-founders. My other co-founder, Reed Johnston, is our CIO, and he's joining us here today to do our monthly Microsoft tips and tricks. We got a lot of good ones today, Reed, and we promise to keep this always less than 20 minutes.
Right.
What do you say we get started? Why don't you share your screen and we'll jump right in.
All right. There we go. Sharing my screen. There we go. Okay. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is finding your files. We've talked about searching in the past, and Microsoft has added some pretty neat features for finding your files. So where we are right here is we're at office.com. That's kind of the starting point for your experience with Microsoft 365. You'll notice, though, it says, welcome to Microsoft 365 Copilot. So Microsoft has changed their naming of Microsoft 365. Now everything is Microsoft 365 Copilot. So don't be alarmed when you see that, but that's some changes coming out. The
So
URL also changed.
within the OneDrive are all within Microsoft 365 Copilot.
Yep, that's right. And the URL changed too. So I used to say office.com, and if you type office.com, it still takes you here through a few clicks. But now notice it's m365.cloud.microsoft, and a lot of the other online services are going to use that cloud.microsoft domain. So just set us up for where we're at. But finding files, if I go here on my left side panel, if I go into OneDrive, OneDrive is really becoming your central hub for all of your files, regardless of where they are. And the first tip that I wanted to share is this little section here, browse files by people. So I can click on this, and this is going to show all of the different people in our organization that have shared files with me. Or files that I have access to from them because I attended a meeting or it was part of a chat or something. So this is a great way where, gosh, I knew Gar was talking about that tips and tricks document, but I don't know where it is. I can go here to OneDrive and then click on people and then find it.
Yeah, I use this all the time,
Yeah.
especially for financial documents and spreadsheets are usually created by Jill. So I just go in here and search on what Jill sent.
Yep. The next thing I want to share is the meetings section, because this is fairly new too. This will show you upcoming meetings as well as past meetings and any files that were shared in those meetings as well. So if you know, gosh, I attended that meeting last week, Reed and Joel, or Reed and Mark, and oh yeah, I shared that image about Copilot prompting. Now you can easily find those files too. You don't have to figure out on your calendar where the meeting was and go into the chat. So browsing files by people and meetings is great. And this is kind of a newer features within the OneDrive section
I
of
didn't know. Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't know about the meetings one. In fact, I just went to my calendar and looked back to find a meeting,
Mhm.
to find the document I needed, rather than doing it the way you just showed, which would be a lot faster.
Yep, so you can do that here. And even though I'm in OneDrive, I still have access to my Teams files as well. So I'm part of the marketing team. I can click on that, and it's going to open up all of the different folders that are part of that team. So OneDrive is really becoming my hub for accessing all of my files, regardless of where they are. So that's the first one. That's the first tip.
Yeah, the next one is pretty is pretty cool. I actually just used it last night to send something this morning.
Yep, yep. So I'm going to switch over to Teams now. And our next tip is scheduling messages in Teams. Before, you could schedule a message to an individual, but now here I'm in a group chat, or I could be in a team. And here's my thread. Here's my little thread I started in our marketing team. If I want to send a message to the marketing team, but I want it to land right at 3 o'clock this afternoon, all I have to do is right click that send button and I can change the time of when I want to send this message. So this is something that you could always do individually, but now you can send a scheduled message in a team. So there we go. It'll kind of sit there and it'll say it's going to send it later in the day.
Yeah, this is so awesome because I think in a past tips and tricks, we did show how to delay the send to an individual.
Yeah.
You hit the plus button and then you schedule the send. But
Yep.
now what you're saying is for in a group chat, you can do the same thing just by right clicking on the send button.
Absolutely. The next one that's related to this is the ability to forward messages. Okay. So here I sent this important message in our marketing team, but I want to send it to Gar directly. So I don't have to retype it. I don't have to copy and paste it. I can just go into that message, click on the three little dots. Now I've got a forward option. So I can forward this message to Gar or to another team. I'll just say Gar and I'll just say, here we go. Hey, look at this. So now that message went to Gar in our direct chat.
Yeah, and I see, hey, look at this, and then I see like a screen, almost like a screenshot of the original
Yeah.
message.
Yep. So forwarding is pretty neat. So new feature. Yeah.
Yeah, that is really good. Um, so we do a Friday meeting with actually our whole company joins in. It's a an ad hoc meeting just to circle up on the week and have some fun. And we started playing with avatars last week.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's a lot of fun stuff and neat stuff you can do with avatars.
Yeah. So I'm starting just
Reed, did I just lose you? Did I lose you, Reed?
am I back now?
Yeah, what happened?
So when I opened up that Teams meeting, I lost my audio. I wanted to show that turning on the avatar is under the camera button. We're not going to be able to show that, unfortunately. It was working last night when I was testing, but not live. But avatars, we were talking about avatars, and when you're in a meeting, you can turn off your camera, you can select your avatar, and that's where you can show an avatar instead of your video. You can customize it with a hat and all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll try to get that working on a future
So, Reed,
meeting.
just to give a sense, though, I have a screenshot that you sent me last night,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
and I just IM'd that back to you, so you should be able to see it there.
let's see here. There it is.
Yep. So that's Reed's avatar. Um,
Need to put a teal logo on the hat.
yeah,
But
yeah, that would be great.
you can use your background too. So I was playing around with flipping the images around, but I can join a meeting with my avatar. I can turn on my avatar, and then when I'm talking, the avatar's mouth will move. And then there's some um, predefined actions like saluting and waving and whatever. So if you're having a bad hair day, Gar, you could turn on your avatar. So yeah,
Oh, that's pretty good, Reed.
yeah,
All right, so that's avatars. They're fun, and people use them a lot. Now
yep.
we want to talk about tabs in chat.
Yeah, so this is pretty neat. So if I go into, I'm going to go into marketing here, or actually, I'm going to go back to you. Let's go back to you. I'm going to add a file to our meeting here. So I'm going to click attach file. Let's pick our tips and tricks document. Great. Okay. So we're talking about this document. I've shared it with you. Um, I want easier access to it so that I don't have to scroll all the way back through all of our chats to find it because we send a lot of messages throughout the day, right? So I can put this document in a tab up here. And it's as simple as clicking the three little dots and then make this a tab. So when I do that, now this tips and tricks document right here, and it'll pop up in a second. Now you're going to see the backstage stuff. It'll pop up in a second. This will show this document. So I can go back to our chat and we can keep talking, send you another message. But if I want to get into that document, I can just click on that tab now. So it makes it easier for me to get back to the documents that we're collaborating on. And when I'm done with it, I can just remove it from our chat, remove it from the
That's
chat.
what I was going to ask. That um, the business case is really to make the particular chat you're having more productive and easier to navigate. But then
Yep.
it would seem that you wouldn't leave that
Yeah.
forever.
Yep. You wouldn't leave it forever. You can remove it. I can hit that plus sign and I can add a bunch of other apps and services to our chat so that I have easy access to it. And so that you have easy access to it also. So yeah,
So when you did that read, I was engaged in what you were saying. I didn't notice on my side. Would I also see it as a tab?
well, let's check it out. If I click make this a tab,
I already see it. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yep,
Awesome. Yeah.
yep. So this could be great for, if you have a thread for a one-on-one meeting and you always want to look at the same dashboard or you always want to look at the same agenda or other document, you could add it as a tab in that chat so that all the documents are easily available and everybody doesn't have to hunt for them. So,
Yeah,
yep.
that's very useful. Yeah, so sort of last thing we want to get to, but might take a minute or two, is pop outs.
Yep. So in the last month or so, Microsoft has added the ability to pop out your windows during meetings and to pop out the chat, to pop out content, to pop out Copilot. So I'm going to show that here. I'm in our marketing thread. I'm in our marketing team. I'm sorry. We've got all of our different marketing messages. Now I can click on these three little dots and I can open this conversation in a new window. So it's going to open it on my other screen and I'm going to drag it back here. There it is. But you'll find that pretty much anywhere you are within Teams now, anytime you've got chat or anytime you've got Copilot or content, you can pop that out into a separate window so that it might be easier for you to engage in that conversation if you've got all of the screen real estate to work with. So I wanted to highlight that. You can pop out a chat during a meeting. If we have a live meeting that has a notes section, I can pop out that notes section and I can pop out Copilot. And you just want to look for, again, it's wherever you are, look for these three dots and look at the different options that are available here. Open in a new window is going to be there. So that's really the last tip for the day.
Yeah, well, I got one more. I got one
Sure.
more.
Okay.
But the way I usually use that actually is with Brittany. When Brittany and I are having our weekly meetings, we'll be sharing a dashboard. And with it would look like we are like it looks now. We'll see two video feeds and this, and sometimes hard to read. So we'll always pop out the document that's being shared. And in our case, it's usually a scorecard or something like that. Um,
Yep.
Read real quick, just to finish up last tip I asked you about last night. You said if we had time. I think we do have a time. We're only at 13
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the things I use a lot is how to forward an email to a team. And I think
Yeah.
we showed how to forward it from within the email, but I
Yep.
don't know that we right clicked. Well, there you go. Why don't you show how to do it?
Yeah. So every channel that you create in Teams has an email address that's associated with it. So here in our marketing team, if I click get email address, here is this kind of goofy looking address that Microsoft made for this channel. Now, some caveats here. The whole world can't email this channel, so it doesn't matter that I'm sharing this on the screen. You can go into advanced settings and you can say only members of this team or only specific domain names that are already allowed by the administrator. So what I've done with this is I'll take this email, copy it, and I'll add it to my contact list in Outlook. So I don't have to remember it, right? I just remember that it's general marketing. And now any email that I have in my inbox, I could forward to general marketing and it will land in this team. So what's the use case for that? The use case is avoiding all of the back and forth email reply alls with a bunch of people. I can bring the message into chat, and then we can chat about it. And we can quickly hop into a meeting if we need to, a video meeting. We're not worrying about all these emails going back and forth and which email am I looking at. I can just, it'll open the email as a new thread, and then we can reply in that thread and continue the conversation in chat. So that is, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a really useful feature.
And the way we showed it before is actually that's integrated into Outlook. There's a button in there. We can show that again, maybe on a future one. But the
Yeah.
other business case I use it for, and we use it for here at Teal, is that folks these days are more in their messaging platform, Teams, Slack, Google, rather than their email. So if there was something important that was emailed, you can quickly forward it over to a Teams channel that everybody's watching all the time. But
Yep.
Reed, thanks so much. 15 minutes. We're 5 minutes under schedule. Really some
Yeah.
great stuff today. Just to put a little plug in for something we're going to be doing soon is we have some Copilot, very specific Copilot tips and tricks that we're going to be doing. I think Brittany has them scheduled every other week or once a month. Very similar to this, but to be focused on Copilot. I think
Cool.
the first couple are going to be general. Then there's going to be one on PowerPoint, then Excel, and then some other ways to leverage Copilot specifically. And of course, next week we have our podcast starting, so there's always that. But folks, thanks so much for taking the time. We know it's valuable, and we appreciate you joining us. For those that didn't watch us live, we're going to ship this out via email to everybody that signed up, and of course, our marketing team will put it on the website for review. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.